will show you what happens when we do a screen share. So I'm at the bottom of my screen. I'm pressing the screen share button, and once I've done that, I can then, for instance, choose to share an application window, which is what I'm doing right now, and so you can see something on your screen, I hope.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
And that's quite fun because I can then start pressing buttons and have different layouts right now just by pressing various buttons. But the layout that I think is most powerful is this one, where you can actually see the people who are sort of part of the show right now, and I can talk. And one of the nice things I can do here is that, so Alice is going to be a producer for this, I'm a producer for this, which means that we can send each other into the green room suddenly. So I've now sent Alice into the green room, which means that she can hear what we're saying, but we cannot see what Alice is saying. And so she's sort of disappeared backstage, and now Alice is back front stage again. So that's quite nice. We can do the same thing with presentations. We can suddenly make presentations go away, and we can make presentations come back. So that's nice. And so in terms of the mechanics right now, one of the things I'd like to mechanically go through with you guys, please, is simply walk you through. So arriving on the show, you've already done it. You click the link and you're in, that's it. It's not more complicated. But the next thing is if you'd like to share your presentation. And you do that by, well, you can open up, I recommend that you open up a PowerPoint presentation in the background first on your PC. And then you do share screen at the very bottom. So let's start with one of you, Hans, for instance. If you press the share group.
Yeah. Let me see.
You may need to, and this is the thing that we need to check. Sometimes people need to enable the microphone and camera inside their browser.
I've done already now. Google Chrome would like to record his computer screen. Open system.
Right.
I need to allow for that. So let me do that right away.
Yes, please. And sometimes you need to restart Chrome.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Yeah. So I have to quit now. So I'll be back in a minute.
Correct. Great. So let's see. It should take. Ja, vi kan prata svenska allihopa. Alla tre pratar svenska. Sami pratar också svenska. Så.
Well, yeah, I have passed the exam. I have passed the exam, so I'm authorized to be recruited as a government official. But yeah, my Swedish is quite rusty, to put it mildly.
Cool. Nice. Now, any moment in time.
Yeah, Alice was muted, so we couldn't hear what she was saying.
Yeah,
I'm sure that your Swedish is better than my Finnish.
Well, I'm not actually sure about that.
And Hans is back. So Hans, let's see if you do the screen share thing again. And I can see that you're attempting to share your screen right now. Just a moment. And I need to, there you are. You're in.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's nice. Now, you can then either have the two applications at the same time, side by side on your laptop screen, or you can go full screen.
Yeah, I go full screen. That's my preference. So as long as you can see this fine and shiny, then that should be okay.
It looks fantastic.
It looks great. It looks fantastic. Okay. In the private chat, I have put a link to the live stream. So if you would like to, there's a 20-second delay on it. So now that you're done showing us your presentation, you can click on there and it will show you what it looks like when you're screen sharing.
Yeah.
If you want. If you want to see what it looks like, you can see it there.
Okay, let me see where I am right now, because now I'm looking at a.
That's because you're sharing your screen right now. I can remove your screen, and that's it. So I've just removed your screen from the show, so to speak.
Okay. And if I would like to bring my screen back up again, how do I do that?
Just
do that as a controller. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Just tell.
Yeah. And if I
that's it.
Perfect.
So now you see full screen again.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Okay. Let's check another thing if I have an animation in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see this appearing properly?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, this is an example of an AI-assisted way of doing programming.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
Fantastic. Is that low code?
Yeah, that's low code. Yeah. Yeah. So just in terms of structure of my presentation, what I would like to do is the following. I'm still working on it, but I'd like to make a statement about one of our customers who is in the kind of greenhouse lighting systems business. And they started to develop a whole proposition around growing crop the most economic fashion with return on investment on how much light you give to a particular crop in the night shift, so to say, and used AI for optimizing that together with a low-code platform that supports building this whole proposition. So that's just setting the scene for where we see the market going. And my statement is we live in a software-driven world, and if you look at where we came from with just desktop, web, mobile, and then multi-channel, we're now starting to see real smart apps that are context-aware, that are intelligent, and also proactive. And just to give the audience a bit of a flavor for why low-code is skyrocketing, and I'll make an animation here so that it's not kind of in your face like now. There's an immense need for driving productivity across the developer spectrum. So from simple and straightforward citizen developers to professional developers. And an expectation that all of your non-functionals for application platforms are coming out of the box. So anything around performance, scalability, high availability, and so on. And make that work across the life cycle. So for the entire workforce with uncompromising architecture, build very engaging experiences and deploy it at scale. And do that with developers that have never been trained to be professional developers. So they are not coming in with a Java or .NET background. And the big win that we are seeing is making this powered by AI, so that they can't go off on a tangent and be completely guided by almost virtual pair programmers. And that's something that we're doing with AI-assisted services. Here's a quote from Gartner that predicts how this market will evolve. So by 2020, 40% of new application development projects will have a virtual AI co-developer on their team. And that's exactly what we are doing with Manyx Assist, which is basically the name of our service. There's a very natural fit in low-code platforms. You are looking at abstracting patterns already. And by doing so, there's an immense kind of springboard if you have a repository of those patterns to mine them and make very specific recommendations. Like we're seeing, most of your peers doing this, and it leads to a highly performant application. So we recommend you to follow that same pattern. And that's what we are doing with this Manyx Assist capability. I have some stats and some story about how we have built it. It's based on TensorFlow from the open source project from Google. And then this is a short video animation of how it actually works in real life. And then I also would like to highlight where we are taking it as a next level. So the current state is that we're helping actively both pro developers and low-code developers for making smart microflows. Microflows are our way to express business logic. And the next step that we are doing is tuning it for performance so that you can detect if an application will be performant, yes or no, and confront static analysis of models with runtime behavior and make very specific recommendations there as well. And that's basically the gist of the story. It's telling like there's two ways how to apply AI technology. One is to make applications smarter. That's basically leveraging services that you get from the hyperscalers with all of the cognitive services that they offer out of the box at super low cost. And then the second aspect of it is how we make development itself smarter, driven by AI technologies, and that's exactly what we're doing as part of our long-term strategy. Does it make sense?
More than that, I'm sitting here and you just sent my head spinning there. You're doing some really, really, really interesting stuff. And Sami, if you look at this from the sort of IP strategy work that you're doing for many companies in terms of how to work out how to defend and attack in IP and so forth. I mean, this really does move the way that people need to think about intellectual property, wouldn't you say, Sami?
Yeah, I agree. And basically, it kind of highlights the fact that since everyone will be basically copying your most effective microflows, you have to think that, okay, what do you share? What do you want to keep as a secret? And then also thinking that, okay, perhaps if you are able to protect those aspects that enable your microflows to run smoothly, and you are able to prevent others from kind of using same enablers, that's kind of one thing. And I think what I have learned from my discussions with some of the kind of guys who have been doing patenting in their kind of old life and current life, but are now facing the fact that, okay, the world is changing. They have to move from sometimes to protecting their own business and the core functions, but kind of moving to protect the enablers of their business function.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's.
I'm happy to bring you in touch with people on the Siemens side who are covering IP protection for us. I shared with Peter, we have been acquired by Siemens, I think 1.5 years ago in the meanwhile. And they have obviously an army of people that are dealing with IP rights, patents, stuff like that. So if you have an interesting perspective, I'm happy to bring you in touch with those guys. But I cannot control that kind of agenda because it's.
So just as a little background. So Sami and I are both ex-Nokia, and Sami used to run one of those armies for Nokia once upon a time. So Sami now is CEO for a consultancy called Condico in this area. So it's quite fun. But I think Sami, you're very interested in talking to the Siemens guys. However, on a customer side, when people are actually deploying Mendix out in the field, there's a new way of thinking here, and you're building business secrets, which are of course part of intellectual property, and you're building a whole bunch of. It changes. It's different.
One question for you, Hans. So. I checked your kind of IP terms, and there's a term called.
That's such an unusual thing to do on a weekend. I love it.
So I noticed there's a term feedback. So basically, you are saying in your terms that, okay, your customer kind of holds their IP rights and you hold your own, but then if customer provides feedback, Mendix gets the rights for the feedback. So what is the feedback?
Feedback in general on how our platform behaves. So that's basically what every software vendor does. So if there's specific recommendations or issues or enhancement requests that the customer may raise and we are taking it on, then we are reserving all the rights that it's ours. I think in this particular area, the one thing to note to mention is that. In our contracts, we reserve the right for those customers who are running in the cloud to mine the cloud repository on an anonymized basis. So all of the history data that we have, and that's why we were able to make such a specific set of recommendations. We are mining a repository of around 5 million models or application models, and then with all of the permutations, we get to around 88 million different patterns that we can mine, and we do that constantly and on an anonymized basis. So all of our customers, of course, that are using the service are benefiting from it, but no one can uncover IP that is from someone else, so to say. So that's basically the way how we've set this up.
So you get the recommendation, but you don't get the actual copyright of the.
No, correct. Yeah. So as a developer, you only get the recommendation.
Yeah.
There are customers that are having trouble with that, and then for example, in highly regulated environments, so they are not even allowed to do any connection to the cloud or whatsoever. Then the repository runs locally, so their models will never be part of the set that we are using for training the machine learning engine.
Okay, so it's multi-tenant in that sense.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. I can explain that as well. Like I think that's interesting factoids, so to say, to kind of make people aware of how this is typically done behind the scenes at a vendor like we are.
Yeah. And where is the actual program then running? Is it running on the cloud or?
Yeah. The program runs on AWS. So we have a version of TensorFlow running on AWS, and that's where we are, presenting the models and mine them on the super large machines. I think it's nice to share some stats about that as well. And then we train them constantly, and then the result of it is a trained set, and that trained set we are using in our cloud to make the recommendations.
Yeah, and then if a client basically create software using your platform and uses that software in their business, is that also running in the cloud as well?
Yeah, we have various deployment options. So you can run it in the cloud. That's the public cloud is multi-tenant, and we have set it up that each and every customer has dedicated cloud resources. So there's no kind of noisy neighbor issue or something like that. And then other deployment options are virtual private cloud or even on premises, and we support all flavors. Yeah.
Because of course that's kind of interesting from IP perspective. If there are relevant US patents and your servers are not running in US, you are not infringing.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Okay. Just as a double check, I had probably erroneously put this in my calendar for tomorrow, but I see it's Wednesday. Am I right?
A tiny detail. Yes, it's on
Wednesday. That's not a problem. So I'll shift the calendar thing. I will be joining. I would say maybe 15 minutes before my session, because I have two other meetings that I cannot move. But I think that should be okay.
Okay, the person before you is Malika Malik from Microsoft. She's specialized in AI for financial services.
Oh, nice.
So that's her area. So she's going to be talking about that, and she'll be talking about cloud migrations and stuff like that for financial services. That's her space. Yeah. And then the person after you, Hans, is Henry Terho, who is going to be talking about DevOps and so forth, which is totally applicable. This is what we spoke about.
Yeah.
And Sami is at 12:30, and as you can hear, Sami's area of interest is IP. Yeah. But I think the primary interest that people are going to have is in line with your presentation, Hans. I think you pitched it really nicely. So it's
I'll tune it a bit, and I'll also make sure that I have half an hour. Am I right?
That's correct, and you can see the format here, that it's possible to have multiple people in the room at the same time, and so forth. So I think you can gun for. So you have half an hour. You can use all of it for your presentation if you wish. I would recommend that you would leave a gap at the end.
For Q&A.
Yeah, because this tool that we're using, StreamYard, is actually quite nice for a dialogue. It works quite nicely, and
Technical question: is it only running in a browser, or is there a kind of a download as well?
Browser only.
Okay.
And browser only. And if you come a little bit early, Hans, then I would like to bring you into the discussion with Malika, so that when Malika does the Q&A, I'd like to bring you in already then. So that the three of us can have a little conversation then. I'll change the sort of outline for it a little bit then.
Yeah. Okay.
And then play around like this, do something simple.
And what is the exact time again that you are planning me to be there?
Your talk starts at 4 UK time, meaning 5
my time. Yeah, that's exactly what I had in my calendar for then tomorrow. But shifting it to Wednesday is working out. So good.
Great. 5 your time.
I have just gone onto the live stream on YouTube and typed in 2 questions, question, and then question 2. And this is how we will run the Q&A sessions, just to give you an example of how it will look. So we can add individual questions into the live stream for you guys to respond to.
Great.
Just want to show that function.
I will not be watching live comments during the presentation, so because if I share my screen,
no.
Full screen, otherwise you get distracted. But then I will stop sharing, and then I can have a look at the questions on the live stream. Yeah,
that's perfect. And what we have there is that so we have 2 colleagues. Alice has 2 colleagues, Matt and Ian, who are both very experienced, and we have X hundred people who are going to be watching us online. So that we might get lots of questions, and the idea there is that Matt and Ian, who are very experienced, will be looking at all those questions, and then they'll feed the ones for you that make sense.
Yeah, nice.
And it may very well make sense for me simply to lift them in, so that we have Matt and Ian join in conversation like this.
Totally. Yeah. Great. But I have to say that you've got an impressive lineup of speakers for the conference. Very.
Well, Hans, you are one of them. Tommy is another one of them. And I think the tone of the whole discussion should be exactly the same tone as this one here. So this is a question of people who are at the risk of inflating your egos. This is a question of people who are pretty damn capable, talking to each other about what's happening now and what will happen in the near future, and what they're actually doing. And no one is interested in some general purpose overview, general purpose anything.
No, correct.
Hans, if you talk to Sami doesn't want you to waste his time, vice versa. He wants you to go straight for it, and vice versa. If Sami talks about IP, then Hans, you're not interested in the definition of copyright. You're interested in what this means now, going forward.
Correct.
So both of you, if I may sort of say anything, start from chapter 25 and accelerate. Go heavy.
I like that. Yeah, sure.
Go heavy. The other guys are really heavy, and so are you. Go heavy, and no mercy.
Yeah. Should be fine.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, and I mean that's exactly what you would appreciate from the other guys as well. You know,
absolutely. I think it's a big, people attending can learn a lot in just one day. I'm sure about that.
Yes, and only if we go for it. If we go too slow, then people will learn nothing.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm good. Yeah. So the most practical way is that I just run the slides from my machine. So no central thing, because otherwise I have to constantly ask for advancing the slide, stuff like that. So Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you want to send through some slides, that's
I
great.
will send them, but then still the preferred way of going through it is that I just that I'm in control of the slideshow. Yeah.
Definitely. I expect everyone will run their own show.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool.
Okay, good.
Cool.
Then hope to see you on Wednesday again.
Yes, look forward to seeing you on Wednesday, Sami. We still need to go through screen sharing with you and
Yep.
If you don't mind, I'm stepping out then right now.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you, Hans.
See you on Wednesday, Hans.
Bye. Yeah, see you on Wednesday. Cheers.
All right, Sami. So let's go through the scary bit now. If you hit that share screen button at the bottom, please.
Yeah, I did.
And what happens?
Ah.
Okay.
Let's see. And that's it. You're live.
Perfect.
Okay. And if I'm changing these two slides, it's changing there.
Yeah.
It's a rather minimalist Aalto University presentation, but I get it.
Yeah. Okay. It works. So I didn't have to do anything special and no rebooting or anything. So.
Yeah, I had the same. For me, it just whistled through, and we still need to check because, as you could see with Hans, we had a moment of, which would have been panic if it would have been live, but it's not panic because it's not live. So.
Yeah, and even if something happens in live situation, I'm sure, Peter, you can handle it.
It's easy.
No pressure.
It's easy. This is all easy, and we're all friends anyway. I mean, every single person presenting is someone I know. So it's actually remarkably easy in that sense.
Yep. Okay.
So Hans and I worked together about 6 years ago. So we worked together in the same company for a couple of years.
Okay. Cool. So I will put something heavy together for Wednesday and
no mercy. All right. And
okay.
It will be fun. And by the way, one of the people presenting, I don't want to steal his thunder, but I must tell you one secret. I don't know how much Tony is going to say about this, but Anthony Lee, who is presenting about the legal liabilities around these things. Tony is he's currently defending a client. I don't know how much he can say, so let's see. He's currently defending a client who has been sued for not using artificial intelligence. And the reason is that it's a medical case, and there are laws about the duty of care and using the best techniques available. And the people accusing are claiming that the defendant has not used the best technique available for the patient. I think we lost you. Are you still there?
Ooh, I think it's frozen.
Sami, I think we lost you. Okay. I think it's frozen.
Jag tror det.
Ja. Men vilka underbara personer, eller hur?
Verkligen. Det tycker jag.
Ja.
Det tycker jag.
Så,
Absolut.
Det ska nog gå framåt det här på något sätt.
Ja.
Där ramlar han bort. Ja. Okej, så där har vi det. Okej. Onwards and upwards. Så vi har då möte idag med Icona som är den här event management-byrån. Och det är klockan 14:30.
Ja.
Bara så du vet.
Jag såg det i kalendret.
Ja. Och Det är helt bra om du hoppar med på den grejen.
Det kommer jag att göra. Det kommer jag att göra. Absolut. Ja. Bra. Här
Bra.
kommer vi igen, tror jag.
Men titta, här kommer jag.
Oj.
Ja, det var du.
My Chrome crashed, so I hope that it doesn't happen on Wednesday. But yeah, so I will reboot my computer before the session on Wednesday.
Okay, cool. No worries.
Okay, cool. But
That's it.
yes,
That's it.
we will see you on Wednesday.
See you on Wednesday.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Okej. Sådär ja. Så där är det. Och nu ska vi se. Då har vi då. Så när kommer du hit imorgon? Hur ser det ut för dig?
Jag skulle faktiskt fråga dig när det är bäst.
När som helst. Precis när det passar dig.
Okej. Men i så fall tar jag tågen. Så finns det något möte imorgon som vi har som jag måste vara på?
Måste behöver du inte. Det här,
men som jag borde vara på i så fall.
Inte vad jag vet. Vi kommer att få se det klockan 14:30 idag om det finns några grejer. Så vi får se. Vi får gå igenom detaljerna då.
Okej, coolt. För att i så fall om det finns något sent på kvällen som vi måste göra så kommer jag typ runt lunch så att jag kan vara på den där grejen på kvällen med dig. Eller om det finns många grejer på morgonen och liksom eftermiddagen så kommer jag på kvällen.
Ja, precis. Ja. Det här, självklart så om du gör så att det är mindre stress så då är det mindre stress. Så,
absolut. Så för mig så kostar det helt enkelt bara 8 pund att komma över till ditt hus. Så det verkligen spelar ingen roll.
Kom när du vill på dagen bara.
Ja, och sen för att komma tillbaka på onsdag borde jag...
Då har jag ju bil så att om du vill att jag... Och det som jag gissar där är att du vill rakt till dina kompisar så jag tänkte att jag kör det rakt dit.
Tack. Du kan gärna komma in och ha en kopp kaffe också.
Vi kommer att vara ganska trötta. Så jag tror att en flaska vin.
En kopp kaffe är säkert hjälpsam.
Cool.
Coolt.
Okej. Det är bra.
Bra.
Kram på dig.
Stor kram. Men vi ses imorgon i så fall.
Vi ses imorgon.
Senare idag på den här möten.
Vad har du att göra idag då? Vad kommer du att jobba på idag?
Alltså just nu så har jag ett universitetsmöte. Och sen klockan 11 så har jag en till universitetsmöte, en annorlunda universitetsmöte. Och sen resten av dagen så är jag ledig och jag kan hjälpa till så mycket som möjligt. Och sen som sagt, alltså imorgon så är jag också ledig. Alltså jag bara behöver ha typ en tidsperiod av 2 timmar för att komma över till ditt hus. För att det är ungefär 2 timmar dörr till dörr. Ungefär.
Bra. Vi har en broadcast först den kommer på. Jag måste trycka på en broadcast. Okej, kram på dig.
Kram på dig.
Hej.
Hej.